So here we are unpacking the enclosure, and what we're looking for is the front of the enclosure, which is this particular section here. You can see the front of the enclosure because it's actually got a strip in the middle here. Okay, and what we do is come to the end and we find the side wall of the enclosure. Okay, so we now put the enclosure round to the way it's actually going to face, and we flip it over. Okay, so that's our front. You can tell that because it's got the Velcro strip here. Okay, what we're now going to do is take one of the side vertical front arms and we're going to put that through the actual sidewall at the front. There it is. It's obviously easier with two people. There we go. So this is the front of the right hand side as you look at it. And pull the material, just pull the material up. There we go, and it pops out at the other end. There we go. Okay, and we pop it simply straight into the front of the enclosure, and we can now secure that up. And what we'll do is the same the other side. And you can now secure that. So we can now secure this side up as well. Okay, so now time to do the top. So now we've secured up the top, and we're just securing up the top here. Joining it into the top horizontal. So here we are securing up the top horizontal to the vertical side pole. So here we are securing up the top horizontal to the vertical to the vertical front pole, as we've done this side as well. Okay, we've now just secured in the top horizontal bar. Okay, what we're going to do now is pull up the sides of the enclosure. Okay, so as we first saw, there's some Velcro on here, and you simply unpeel the Velcro And what we're looking at is the front of the net here. And we'll just pull this up. And we're just unpeeling the Velcro. There we go. And what Dan's going to do now is hook the Velcro section flap over the front of the top vertical bar. Okay. And then what we'll do is hook that back over and secure it to the Velcro. There we go. Making sure it's nice, no creases in there, and that it hangs perfectly. So what you're looking at is the actual roof looking down on top there of the enclosure. The flaps are now over the front horizontal bar. We're now looking at the inside of the enclosure. And we're on to the next step. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put a couple of cable ties through the eyelets at the back of the enclosure. Okay. And what we're going to do to put some tension on it is thread the cable ties through onto the back horizontal bar and literally tighten it up as much as you possibly can. Okay, and we're going to do that all along the back first and then along the sides. Okay, so as you can see, Dan's working his way along the back horizontal bar of the enclosure and cable tying every eyelet, making it as tight as he can. As you can see, we've made a start here as well, just to put a bit of tension on the sides, just to make sure we've got a nice sort of even spread of tension there. If we come round, you can now start to see the inside of the enclosure taking shape with the tension from the cable ties as well. Okay, so once you've done along the whole of the back horizontal bar, you can now work down to the sides as well. As you can see, we've done all the way down the side. That puts the tension on for the side. And we're going to do the top sides horizontal bar as well. Okay, and there you can see the top horizontal cable tied up as well, and we've got sort of good tension now on the enclosure. As you can see, the shape of it is starting to come together quite nicely. Okay, so once you've tensioned everything up, it's time to put the screen up. So what we're going to do first of all is just lay the screen out if you can, and this is the front of the screen. You'll notice there's Velcro on the screen here as well, running along the sides and across the top. What we're going to do is actually hook this up into the enclosure, and as you can see, once we get into the enclosure, you can see there's a flap here with Velcro on, just here, with a row of eyelets running along behind it. Okay. So it's actually easier to work behind the projection screen when you're putting this up. As you can see now, we've actually cable tied one corner to the eyelet on the flap, and we're going to go all the way along here. It's best to do one corner first and then we'll do the other corner. So now you can start to see the projection screen taking shape. We've secured both corners, and just match up the eyelets to the flap along the top. So now we've just secured along the top of the enclosure for the projection screen. If we go inside, you can just about make out how it's secured there. And what we're going to do now is work our way down the sides and just basically bring the archery screen to the side of the enclosure, just so the two bits of material match up. Okay, so we've got our screen secured down the sides and across the top. What we're going to do now is pull the flap here, and we're going to attach it to the Velcro on the screen, and we're going to finish this off. So, yeah, So the way to do this, we're going to start with the side first of all, and it's literally a case of just pull this along and secure. All the way down the side, and then obviously across the top as well. What this does is put a little bit of tension onto the screen, just to keep the picture nice and crisp for when we come to project onto it. Okay, and we're finished. As you can see, the flaps have been secured to the screen, so the ball can't hit any of the metalwork at all behind it. There's a 300mm or 1 foot gap from the screen to the metal, so no chance of the ball hitting it. What we're going to do just to finish off is, as you can see, there's a little eyelet just in the corner here, and what we're going to do is just grab a couple of cable ties and tie those to the metal poles. So as you can see, we've just cable tied that to the pole underneath there and back round, and the flap here will cover that up nicely. There we go. And the same this side as well.
Still a little light, but better contact.
That was a cracking shot. It's because you're on video.
Oh, that's about the right distance.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Behind me. 100 centimetres 500 me.